Yeah, good morning, friends. Welcome back. So remember yesterday we have seen types of computer networks, and we said there are majorly two networks. One is your logical network, another one is your physical network. Logical network is your IP addressing, and physical networks are the networks that are spread across geographical locations. So we have local area network, metropolitan area network, and wide area network. So local means it is present within a room or a building. Metropolitan area network means it is spread across a city, and wide area network means it is spread between different cities, countries, and continents, right? Now, fine. What is the purpose of these networks? The purpose is same: sharing your data, sharing your information, sharing your resources. That is the main purpose. Okay. And how they are connected, whether it is local, metropolitan, or wide area network, where is the media, right? Normally people feel like if it is metropolitan area network or wide area network, that is the branches are there in different cities or different location within the city or different countries, and they go with wireless. But we know this very well now, that each and every network is connected through cable, whether it is India to Brazil, Brazil to somewhere in Paris, Paris to somewhere in Moscow, Moscow to somewhere in like say Sydney or Singapore or anywhere. They are connected by using cables. Fine. The devices will be same in each and every network. Actually, metropolitan and local area network, what we said, local area net, metropolitan and wide area network, especially we said local area networks spread across a city and local area networks spread between, yeah. So everywhere there is a local area network first. So one local area network in your city and one local area network in my city, if they are connected with each other, then it is called wide area network. Okay, so these are the types of networks we have. Now there are some more networks we see normally actually, and there is something called CAN, campus area network. Campus area network. Again, name says everything. Campus. When I say campus, you can think of your university or college, or maybe some big company, or maybe big some hospital or something. Campus means it is just a campus, means under one boundary there are some blocks, there are some buildings, like A block, B block, C block, all comes under one boundary, right? So that is a campus. If you go to big hospital, there we can see like, okay, children's section is different, okay, and for general patients there is some other section, for cancer there is some other block. So within a big hospital there is a big boundary, and that boundary has many blocks. So all these things comes under a campus. So campus area network is local area networks spread within a boundary. This is not between city, this is just within a boundary. The devices will be same, the purpose is same, everything is same, but how they are connected here? Again, we can go with wire here or wireless. But if you go with the campus area network also, friends, it will be again a cable network. If you want to make connection between A block and B block, we have to use cables. If you want to make connection between like library and suppose let us go with like lab, like if you go to college, there is a library section, there is a lab section, there is a classroom section, there is a hostel section, there is a canteen somewhere. So all these are under the boundary, right? So from library to lab, and from lab to the classroom, classroom to the hostel, all these blocks are connected with each other. And how they are connected? By using a cable. Now who should make this connection here? The connection between A block and B block, B block and C block. Do we need to call the internet service providers here? No. As the administrator, it is your responsibility to make connections, because A block, B block, C block, they are within your boundary, right? We are not crossing any public property, we are not crossing any road or a street or somewhere. We are within our boundary, so we are the people who should make these connections. Okay, and these connections are again cable connections. This can be like UTP cable or fiber optic cable. We'll see those cables hopefully today. It can be UTP cable or it can be your fiber optic cable. Done. These are the things we use. And then we have one more type of network actually. This you will see while you read some documents. It is called SOHO, small office, home office. Small office, home office means, normally when you go to some internet cafe, or if you want to make some Xerox somewhere, Xerox shops will be there somewhere across maybe some at some corner or wherever. So if you go to those networks, or if you take your uh, Wi-Fi internet in your home, like many people are connected to that Wi-Fi router. So this sort of networks are known as small office, home office network. 5-10 computers are there, one printer is there, and there is a uh, internet connection coming. That one internet connection we are sharing with all the people. We can take printouts, we can share some data. So there are no servers here, or there are no huge switches. Maybe we can go with a device called hub. So this sort of networks are known as small office, home office network, where within like 1 week you can learn how to manage that network. No need to have any like MCSE, CCN or Linux administration courses there. Just take 5-7 computers or 10 computers, connect the computers, install the OS, and assign IP addresses. That's it. These are your small office, home office network. But majorly we need to remember this four: local, metropolitan, wide, and campus. These are the four networks we come across at different levels in our working. So majority of time we are working within, see, actually 90% work will be there in local area network. I repeat, 90% work will be there in local area network. Metropolitan, wide area and campus area, we just need to like, connect them and make communication. Coming to metropolitan and wide area, we know this very well, right? The ISP people, the internet service providers, they will make these connections. We are not making these connections. So they have their own cables, they have everything related to the networks. They have cables, they have routers, they have like switches in between, they have some protocols, they have some IP addresses. So the internet service providers, these people will make communication between this metropolitan and wide area networks. Okay, fine. These are the people, they make connections. That is not our work. So when you make communication between metropolitan area network or wide area network, we use some protocols on router. There is a protocol called RIP or EAGRP or OSPF. These are the three protocols we have, and there is something called static routing. And by using the static routing also we can make communication. So how to connect India branch and Brazil branch, how to connect Delhi office and Dubai office. That connection will be done by the ISP, internet service provider. It will take one class for us to see how they are connecting and what configuration we have to do. It will take at least one class that we will see in coming classes. Okay. Now the second thing is how to make communication between them. Connection is one thing, communication is another thing, right? So they will make the connections, we have to make the communication. So how to make communication between Delhi, Dubai, Sydney, Tokyo, Paris, and somewhere in like say Rio or somewhere in Alaska? How to make this communication? By using some protocols we can make communication. So what protocols we use? Like I said, EAGRP, OSPF and all those things. So it will take around 1 week for us to learn about these protocols. Okay, it will take around 1 week for us to learn about this protocol. So that again will come in our coming sessions. So how to make a local area network, that we have to see, and how to connect two local area networks, that we need to learn, and what protocols we are using, what services we are using, what configuration we have to do in that particular protocol. Okay, what output will come with that protocol, what troubleshooting we have to do. All these things in more details we need to see in coming sessions. As of now, these are just type of computer networks that you need to understand carefully. Done? Now, there are two more terminologies that we need to see here. One is called internet, another one is called intranet. Internet is your public network. Intranet is your private network. So once you complete your courses like MCAC, CCNA, Linux, Cloud, whatever courses you're learning, once you complete your courses, you need to apply for a job. So where exactly you will get a job? So 99% cases, or maybe 99.9% cases, you will get a job in a intranet. You will be managing a company's network. That is a private network. Like, if you go to a company like, there is a very big company in India like Infosys. If you go to this company Infosys, there is a branch in my city, Hyderabad. There are some thousands of people working in that branch. Thousands of people working in single branch. So if you go to this Infosys company as administrator, if you work there as administrator, your responsibility will be managing that Infosys local area network. That means you're working in intranet. Then how internet is working there? See, over the internet also there are some people working. And who are these people? These are the same people who did MCSE, CCNA, Linux, and there is certain path there. It is called service provider technology, service provider course. So these people have done these courses. So if you know how to work in intranet, you can work over the internet. But what I'm saying here is 99.9% cases, you will get a job in intranet. You are working for a company. You're not working in a internet in 99.9% cases. Okay. But if you still got a job over the internet, like suppose you got a job in any ISP, internet service provider, whatever you're learning in CCNA, these things will still remain same there. But the only difference here is that is a internet service provider and one is your intranet. Okay, so internet is for public, intranet is for private network. But who is managing internet network and intranet network? The administrator is managing these networks. That's it. Fine. Now, okay, now let us go and see some cables actually, what cables we use to connect the devices. Majorly, there are two cables that we use. Actually, there were three cables. So I will just show the third cable first, which is outdated now. This was a cable which was used in 1980s. It was your coaxial cable. But maybe you can see this cable somewhere still used, right? If you select these cables are used in the TV connections, then you are exactly like 100% correct. These cables are still used in TVs. Okay, still we have a TV where this particular cable is there. It is called coaxial cable. And this was the same cable it was used in computer networks also some years before. But as of now, this cable is completely outdated. For last 15-18 years only, or before 15-18 years only, this cable is outdated. So we are not using this cable anymore in a computer network. So what cables we are using here? There are two cables we have. One is called UTP cable. This is one cable that is called UTP cable, and there is something called fiber optic cable. So these are the fiber optic cables that we have. Okay, there is a message here like it is still used in Xfinity ISP for internet. Okay, but that cable is not connected to the computer actually. That cable will be used outside. That cable cannot be connected on a computer. That cable can be connected on a modem actually, somewhere on a modem, but not on your machine. Okay, yeah. So these are the two cables we have here, friends, coaxial cable and the UTP cable. So we'll go to the UTP cable in a while. Let us go to this coaxial cable first. Oh, sorry, let us go to this fiber optic cable. I'll come again. We go with like UTP cable or coaxial cable. Again, I have done the mistake, man. Sorry. We go with the UTP cable or this fiber optic cable. Fine, fine. This is your fiber optic cable. Now, anyone here who is using this fiber optic cable in your network? Like if there is a laptop and computer, of course there is a laptop and computer with you. So can you see this particular fiber optic cable option on your laptop or computer? Whatever laptops and computers we have, majority of devices, I can say 97 to 98% cases, this particular fiber optic port is not available on our laptops and computers. Till today, we are in October 2021. Till today, this particular port is not available on our device. This particular port is available only on some special devices like servers and some firewalls, routers, and switches. This fiber optic port cannot be connected on a normal computer. Not needed till now, actually. Okay, this fiber optic ports, you know what they do? They just carry your data in a form of like signals, light signals actually. Okay, and these cables are very costly in a way, but there are some advantages here. One of the advantage here is this particular fiber optic cable can carry your data up to some hundreds of kilometers without dropping the data. I'm saying hundreds of kilometers, or we can say some hundreds of miles, maybe, if you calculate in miles. So we have like many advantages of fiber optic cable. More data transferring rate. Okay, more data can be transferred per second. Okay, it can be transferred at a very long distance. So we have many advantages. But still, if the device is not supported with that particular port, if the device is not having that particular port, we cannot use that port. We cannot use this cable on our device. So the laptops and the computers, or most of the servers, most of the switches, routers and firewall, there this particular port option is not available. So this fiber optic port we are using in very few cases, but hopefully after like 2-3 years or 4 years this will become more common. You know, there is something called Blu-ray disc. Normally we have CDs and DVDs that we use normally in most of the devices like computers and laptops, but there is something called Blu-ray disc. Blu-ray disc is like something like your DVD, but Blu-ray has like more capacity. It can be like 50 GB also, it can be like 100 GB also. But can I put my Blu-ray disc in every computer or any machine? That's not possible. To read the Blu-ray disc, we need to have a Blu-ray drive. So there is certain requirement there, right? So here also same. We cannot use this fiber optic cable on every device. See, this is one more. There is some device here where these people are connecting these fiber optic cables. This is a switch actually, and if I zoom in, you can see clearly. This is a Cisco switch. It's written here. This is your Cisco small, this some Cisco switch here. So see, there are some fiber optic ports here, and we still have some, you know, Ethernet ports. What is Ethernet that we will see? But we can see fiber optic as well as this. So there are certain devices where all the ports can be like, you know, useful as a Ethernet port. That is like we use those UTP cables, and there are certain ports where we can connect our fiber optic ports. That way also we have some devices. Got it? So this is a fiber optic cable that we use, one of the cable that we use in a computer network. But majority of cases, like say this is a computer network, you can see all these are switches actually. The green color one is a cable, and what you see in the background is a switch. Yeah, see, these are your switch ports here, and these cables are your UTP cables. These are not fiber optic, these are UTP cables. Yeah, all these are cables. It must be some huge data center actually somewhere. Okay, so the devices are connected with each other by using this cable, and that is your UTP. So how UTP cable will look? And this is that UTP cable, untwisted, actually twisted pair cable actually. So this is your UTP cable, and in this UTP cable we have totally 4 pairs. We can say blue, brown, orange, and green color here, right? These are the 4 pairs of cables we have: blue, brown, blue, orange, green, and brown. So one wire will be completely blue, another will be like blue white. One is completely orange, orange white, green, green white, brown, and brown white. So there is a way of, like, you know, crimping this cable. Crimping means, you know, the process of making a cable. This is your cable, and can you see this white color one? This is called jack. This one. This is called RJ45 jack. So this RJ45 jack and this cable, they are like different components. So first we need to take the cable, remove the cover of the cable, and arrange all this wire in a particular sequence and put all the wires in that RJ45 jack and do something called crimping. There is a tool here called crimping tool. You will see this crimping tool in every network actually. So this is that crimping tool. Can you see this yellow color one small tool here? By using this, we can remove the cover of that particular cable, and by using this bigger tool, we can just crimp it. Crimp it means we can just put the cable inside that tool, and we need to just press it so that the RJ45 jack and the cable, they fit each other properly, and that cable can be connected to the network. This process is called crimping process, and these UTP cables will come like, ready-made cables will be there. You can just go to the market, you can purchase a cable with which is already like, crimped. That is also possible. But say this is a crimping cable. But majority of cases, people will not go with the ready-made cable. They just take some bundles of cable and they do this crimping manually. The reason is if they do the crimping manually, it will be very, very less in cost. But if they take the ready-made cables, it will cost them a lot actually. So this is one of the reason why they do this. Okay, this is one of the work we have to know. This is one of the thing we have to do in companies. Crimping is one process that you need to learn, and this is one of the topic that we cannot learn in our online sessions actually. You need to take that particular crimping tool, then you should take a cable, then you should know how to open the cable, you should know how to like, arrange all the colors. There is a proper color sequence there. You should arrange all the wires in that color, and then you should insert the wires in that RJ45 jack, and then you should do crimping. But again, it is not rocket science. It is very easy. If you do once or twice, you can understand everything easily. Okay, so see here, this is some bundle here, and just open the bundle, you'll get those wires inside. You'll get those 4 pairs. Totally 8 wires will be there. We should like arrange everything, and we should do the crimping. I'll share a document with you where all the color codings and everything is written clearly. Okay, so you can just go through this document, and you'll get proper knowledge about the types of cables and all those things. There are certain types of cables we have. There is something called straight cable, cross cable, and rollover cable. So these cables also we need to see, that we will see in our coming sessions. Okay. Now, what is the difference between this UTP cable and fiber optic cable? Basically, we have seen many differences, but one of the major difference here is UTP cable can carry your data up to 100 meters. I repeat, UTP cable can carry your data up to 100 meters only. After 100 meters, it will simply drop your data. But coming to fiber optic cable, like I said you, fiber optic cable can carry your data up to some hundreds of kilometers without dropping the data. This is one of the major difference between a UTP cable and fiber optic cable. Okay, so till today, 99%, 97 to 99% cases within a local area network, we use this UTP cable only. 97 to 99%, that's a huge percentage, right? I'm saying like close to 99% cases, we use this UTP cable in our local area network. Computers, routers, switches, servers, okay, laptops, printers, firewalls, all these devices are connected with each other by using this particular cable. And every computer has a NIC card, right? We need to see about NIC card also in more details. Right now, just see the NIC card will be something like this. This is your NIC card, network interface card, and this is the place where we connect our cable. Yeah, this is much more easier to see. See here, this is the red color one is the cable, and you can see this white color, that is your RJ45 jack. And what you see here is your card. It is called NIC card, network interface card. Every device has minimum one NIC card. Again, there is a big story with this NIC card. There is a IP address there, there is a MAC address there. IP is public, MAC address is IP is logical, MAC address is physical. All these things will take a lot of time for us to discuss. Okay, so no need to worry about those NIC cards and all those things. Just remember one thing, the NIC card must be there on every device, then only the device can be connected on the network. Got it? So this cable is connected here. And if you go with fiber optic NIC, fiber optic NIC will be different. See, you can see clearly the size and the shape, everything is looking different here, right? So this is your fiber optic NIC card. See, so simply we cannot connect UTP cable here, and the fiber optic cable cannot be connected on that particular port. So these are the cables. But again, types of cables and how to make connections, what port should be used on a switch. Okay, there are many ports on a switch, there are many NIC cards on a switch. So how to make connections and all those things, it will come in many classes actually. We need to make many networks, we need to make many topologies, so that we will see how to make all these connections. But as a basic demo class, just try to understand these are the two cables we have, UTP cable and fiber optic cable, and where we use UTP cable, where we use fiber optic cable, that we need to remember. Okay, UTP cable is still used in 97 to 99% cases. Fiber optic cable is majorly used between two different cities or countries and all those things. Remember I showed you this submarine cable map yesterday. These are your submarine cables, the undersea cable. Okay, you can see all these cities, countries, the continents, they are connected with each other. So whatever you see the lines, these are actually your cables, and these are your fiber optic cable. And we have seen yesterday about India here, Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, and Sea. In India we are getting cables here. So whatever you see here, all these are your undersea fiber optic cables. Okay, and coming to India again, Delhi is here and Hyderabad is here, around some 2000 kilometers apart. So between Delhi and Hyderabad, again there is a fiber optic cable. So these cables are not under our control. That is the main thing we need to understand here. These cables are under the control of ISP, Internet Service Providers. But coming to this network, which is a local area network here, you can see there are devices here, computers, servers, everything. So coming to this network, this connections responsibility is on us. We have to connect all these devices with each other. And in this network, which is a local area network, UTP cables are used, and we have to make all these connections. Done? Fine. This is something about cable, but again, we have some more things to discuss about cable, types of cables and all those things that we will see with some other topic. Now, before I move to some other topic, we need to see something called topologies now. So before we see topology, I'll just take a break for 30 seconds. If there is any doubt or questions regarding whatever we have learned till now, we can just clear everything, then we can move to the next topic. Okay, fine. Let us move to the next topic. There is something called topology. There is a terminology that we need to understand here carefully. That is called topology. Okay, topology means the design of your network, how they are connected with each other. Okay, that is called topology. The design or the structure of your network is called topology. Now, the computer network, devices can be connected in different ways. For example, there is a topology called bus topology. There is a topology called star topology, tree topology, okay, and mesh topology. We have something called, ring topology and some other topologies, but they are outdated. So the majority of topologies that we use in our computer network are bus, star, tree, and mesh. These are the four major topologies we use. There is something called hybrid also. Hybrid means it is a mixture of couple of topologies. So let us try to understand what are these different types of topologies we have. Now coming to this bus topology. So topology, like I said, is the layout of your network, the physical layout of your network, how the devices are connected with each other. Okay. I hope I can get some topology here. Let me just check it once. Computer network topologies. Okay, fine. Okay, this is, I think, a very 2 seconds, please. I'll just try to get a proper diagram for our topologies. Yeah, fine. See, bus, ring, star, tree, and mesh and hybrid. So it is showing one point-to-point topology also. Let us just try to understand what are these different types of topologies and which topology is used in which device. Okay, point-to-point topology. It's very simple, right? Two devices are connected with each other. That is called point-to-point topology. So this is specially used, like, when you share some data with your friend, maybe. See, in a computer network, hardly we see only two devices, right? There will be some, tens and hundreds or maybe thousands of devices. So point-to-point topology means it is between two devices. Okay, it can be between two routers actually. Suppose you have a company, you're working in a company where there are two branches. One branch is somewhere in India, another branch is somewhere in Australia. So India, one branch, Australia, one branch. There are only two branches. So we need to connect India router with Australia router. So this connection is called point-to-point connection. Two routers are connected with each other. This is your point-to-point topology. Done. Now the second topology is bus. The name bus is given here because when you see a bus, actually a real bus, the bus will move in one direction, right? The bus will not go like front, back, right, left, something like it. It will just go in a direction, in forward direction, I can say. Okay, so bus topology is something like this. There is a cable here, a middle cable, and to this middle cable all the devices are connected here. This is called bus, and what you see in between is actually, it is called a backbone cable. Okay, if this backbone cable is not working, then all the devices are disconnected actually. Okay, so bus topology was used in 1980s and 1990s. Then it was used like majorly, but are we using bus topology till today? Okay, I can say yes. For example, I'll open this packet tracer once. Remember, this is our simulation software that we need to learn. We'll see all these details again in coming classes. So I'll just go with a switch here. So suppose there are 3 switches or 4 switches in your company. 4 switches means there are approximately 80 to 90 devices. So it's a small network. Now what to do, friends? We need to connect these switches with each other. So there is a way of connection. I'm not showing you the cables and everything right now. I'll just connect the devices. Let's say port number 23 to port number 24. Okay, some ports I'll be using here. That's it. Now what you see here is a bus topology. There is switch number 1 here, and this is switch number 4. So if there are 2 switches, 3 switches, 4, 5, 7 switches, we can go with bus topology. That is okay. But if the number of switches are more, like suppose 15-20 switches or maybe like more than 15-20 switches, then bus topology is not recommended. Why it is not recommended? Imagine this is switch number 1 and suppose imagine this is switch number 40. So one computer is connected on switch number 1 here, another computer is connected on switch number 40. Okay, so to communicate from computer number 1 to computer number like say 400, this is computer number 400, but it is connected on which switch? It is connected on switch number 40. So from computer number 1 the message will go to switch 1, then 2 3 4 5, it will go to up to switch number 40, then from switch number 40 it will go to this laptop. So how many switches it is crossing now? Total it is crossing 40 switches, so that is like huge. So bus topology will be used in a small network where there are like 3-4 routers or 3-4 switches. But if there are more routers and more switches, bus topology is not recommended. You should not connect 40 switches like this. Then how to connect 40 switches or how to connect 40 routers? We need to go with some other topology. But bus topology is not recommended there. Okay. Now, if you go with routers also, like suppose imagine this is again a router. This is your Hyderabad office. This is your Delhi office. This is suppose your Dubai office, and suppose this is somewhere in, let's say, London. Done. So Hyderabad, Delhi, Dubai, and London, they are connected with each other. Now, what if the connection between Delhi and Dubai is disconnected? Remember, I told you these are the routers, right? So the connection between Delhi and Dubai is disconnected. So if the connection is disconnected for some reason, Hyderabad and Delhi can communicate, Dubai and London can communicate. But you know, Hyderabad, Delhi cannot communicate with Dubai and London, and vice versa, right? So they cannot communicate with each other. So bus topology is not working perfectly here. Although there are only 4 branches, but it is not working perfectly. So if you go with a switching domain, if you go with the switching network, we can go with bus topology. If there are like 2-3 switches or 4 switches or 5 switches, we can still go with bus topology, because in case between switch number 2 and switch number 3, if the cable is not working, the switches are under our control, right? So we can just go there and we can replace the cable. But when you go with the router, the Delhi to Dubai connection is not under our control. We need to make a complaint to the ISP, so they will take some time to troubleshoot. So it may take some hours or it may take like couple of days. So for next couple of days, there is no connection between Hyderabad, Delhi to Dubai and London. So over the router network, bus topology is not recommended if there are 3 or more than 3 routers. Got it? This is one major thing we need to understand. Which topology suits better in which on which device? So bus topology, 3-4 switches, we can still go with bus topology. But if there are 3-4 routers, we should not go with bus topology. More than 3-4 routers, actually, we should not think of using bus topology. We should go with some other topology. But anyhow, this is the bus topology that we have. Devices are connected in a sequence, one by one is connected to 2, 2 is connected to 3, 3 is connected to 4, like this, they are connected. Fine. Now, ring topology. See here, it is something like a ring. Machine number, if there are 10 machines totally, 1 is connected to 2, 2 is connected to 3, 4, 5, like in the end, 9 is connected to 10. And the machine number 10th is again connected to 1. But there was a problem in ring topology. There is something called loop. Loop means, the data is simply moving here and there. Looping means, rotating, something like a rotating, right? So there was a loop. So ring topology was not so successful. It is something like a bus topology, but in bus topology, there is a start and there is an end. But in ring topology, start and the end are connected. So now it is form of a ring now. So ring topology, we should not use in computers or switches. Maybe in some cases, we will go with the routers actually. But still, this is not so useful topology. Fine. Now, star topology is one of the most famous topologies we have. When you see the star topology, you can see clearly there is a central device there. Okay, and to this central device, many other devices are connected. This central device is actually your switch or a hub, and to that central devices, all the computers, servers, printers, routers are connected. This is actually your star topology. See, this is your switch. This is your switch, and all the devices are connected to switch. I repeat, this is a switch and all the devices are connected to switch. So this looks like a star. So this is known as a star topology. Star topology is best suited in our local area networks. Okay, it is best suited in the local area network. Now imagine there are many switches. I'll take some switches here. Let's say this is one switch. Like we have many switches. Imagine there are totally 50 switches. So instead of connecting 50 switches in a bus topology, what we can do here is we can make a star topology. So the middle one is a switch number 1. To the switch number 1, switch number 2 is connected. Switch number 3 is connected. Switch number 4 is connected. And switch number 5 is connected. This looks something like a star. Okay. And to switch number 2, if you want to connect some more topologies, like I can take some more switch here. I can make a connection like this. Done. What you see here is a star topology, and what you see here is a bus topology. So this is your hybrid topology. Combination of two topologies or more than two topologies is a hybrid topology. Okay. So this is best diagram. Why it is best? Let us see. Imagine this is switch number 40 and this is switch number, let's say 2. Now from switch number 2, if you want to reach switch number 40, how many switches are there in between? This is one switch, second switch, third switch, and fourth switch. So switch number 2 and switch number 40 are only 4 switches apart. There are only 4 switches in between switch number 2 and switch number 40. So this we can achieve, this distance we can get when you go with a star topology, or there is something called mesh topology. There also we can do this. But if you go in a bus topology, switch number 2 is connected to 3, 3 is connected to 4, 4 to 5, 6, 7. That means the distance between switch number 2 and 40, or the devices between switch number 2 and switch number 40, will be like totally 38 devices, including 2 and 40, right? So there we have like 38 switches to cross. But here, how many switches we need to cross? We need to cross one switch, two switch, three switch, and the fourth switch is your switch number 40. See, this design is more like, uh, easy for our data movement, right? The data from switch number 2 can reach switch number 4 only by crossing 3 switches. But if you go with the bus topology, it needs to cross like nearly 37, 38 switches. So that is a huge distance compared to the star plus tree topology. Got it now? This is the way we have to make our setup. This is star topology. And tree topology. Again, it looks very easy actually. Tree topology means, again, we can use tree topologies in switches as well as in routers. So what we do in tree topology, we just take a switch here, and this switch has like 3 branches. If you know the tree, the real tree, the tree has a root, and the root has like many branches there, right? So here also same. Imagine this is the root. I'm just putting in the opposite direction. So here, like this. Now see here. Okay, I'll make the connections. This is your tree. So this is called root. Technically, this is called root. Under this root, we have some branches, like we can see 3 branches, and under those branches, we have like many more sub branches. So this can be switch number 1. This root switch can be like switch number 1, and this switch can be like switch number 80. But see, how many switches are there between switch number 1 and switch number 80? This is switch number 1, this is switch number 2, and this is switch number 3. So the distance between switch number 1 and switch number 80 is only like 3 switches. So this concept is called tree. So again, in this switch number 3, again we have like some more switches. Under those switches, we have like some more switches. So we can simply make our topology according to our wish. But we need to see like what will be the name of the topology. Okay, this is your tree topology, where there is a main switch that is called root switch, and that root switch is connected to some switches, and on those some switches, some more switches are connected. So like this, we can expand our network to any size, and the distance between one switch and another switch will be as less as possible. If there are 300 switches, the distance between switch number 1 and switch number 300 is not 300 switches. The distance between switch number 1 and switch number 300 can be like only 10 switches. That sort of diagram we can make, that sort of topology we can make by using this tree topology. The topology is all about diagrams, all about the networks, how the devices are connected. So when you go to a new city, actually, when you go and see big cities, like, there is something called New Delhi and Delhi, Old Delhi. Old Delhi was like, constructed some hundreds of years before. New Delhi is quite a new city. You can go and see like Mumbai, old Mumbai and new Mumbai. When you see the difference between old Mumbai and new Mumbai, the new Mumbai city, the roadways and all these things are properly designed. There are some flyovers and all those things. So it will be very easy for people to move. It will be easy for vehicles to move from one location to another location. But if you go to any old city, any big city, just go to the older city part of that city, it will be very difficult for people to like move here and there, because the roads are very small there. It is very difficult for vehicles to move. Traffic jam will be there, everything will be there. In our computer networks also, friends, there is something called traffic. So we need to design our computer network in such a way that the traffic movement should be very easy and very fast. The traffic should not take more time to reach a particular destination. If your traffic is taking a lot of time, that means your network is slow. So if the devices are connected in a proper way, then the traffic will take less time to move from one location to another location. There can be 10 switches in a company, there can be 500 switches in a company. But again, the distance between switch number 1 and switch number 500 should not be the 498 switches in between. It should be as less as possible. So the design of the computer network plays a huge part in the working process of the computer network, the communication and all those things. Okay, so we will make many networks in our coming classes. So then we can again see, okay, this topology is this, and there is a topology and all those things. But as of now, just try to get the basics of your topology, so that when we go to the main topic, it will be very easier for you to understand. I'll show you one routing topology here. Routers are connected here. See, the instead of router numbers, I'm using names here. Say this is your mesh topology actually. Okay, see, router number A, this is not complete mesh, this is not full mesh. There is something called full mesh and partial mesh. Let us go back here. So this is tree, this is mesh. Okay, this is hybrid. In hybrid, we can say there is a bus topology here, there is a ring topology, there is a star topology that we have seen, right? But mesh topology means, see, one machine is connected to all the other machines. That is called mesh topology. Mesh topology is like, very costly. Why it is very costly? Because we need to connect router number 1 with all the other routers. That much is not needed in a way. That much is not needed in any way. We can go with like partial mesh. Partial mesh means, you can see here clearly, this particular router number A is connected to router number B and router number F. But is it connected to router number D? No. Is it connected to router number C, J, E, B, whatever we have? No. But see, router number A, can it communicate with router number G? Of course it can communicate. Can it communicate with router number K? Of course it will communicate. But is it connected to the G and K directly? No. So this sort of topology is called partial mesh topology. One is called full mesh, one is called partial mesh. Just try to remember one thing, friends. In your topology, always there should be multiple ways to reach a particular destination. From router number 1, if you are communicating with router number 10, there should be at least 2 ways from where you can reach router number 10. In case if one path is down, one way is down, there should be the other way available. That is the best way of designing a topology. At least there should be 2 paths available. So then we should go with this partial mesh. And coming to G here, this particular G router, it is connected to how many routers here? B, D, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is connected on 8 routers. But coming to it is connected to only on 2 routers. So this is the way we need to design our networks. So we can go with like mesh topology, star topology, tree topology, bus topology. It depends like how many devices we have, okay, and how we can connect all these devices with each other. Whenever you make connections with the between the devices, the first thing that we have to do here is we have to do the paperwork. See, computer networks are not like connecting by cables and all those things. Of course, cable connection will be there, but the main thing is first everything should be designed on a paper. There should be some paperwork first, then it should be implemented physically. Your paperwork will be something like this. See, this is one more computer network topology here. You can see many devices here. All the devices are connected with each other by using cables and some numbers and all those things. Actually, this is some company setup. It's a big company, and that company has this particular setup. So everything will be done on a paper. When you make a building, when there is a construction happening somewhere, there is some blueprint there, right? They just draw everything on a paper. The structure will be there on paper. Then they start implementing that structure on the ground. So first the paperwork should be done, then the practicals will be done. Okay, so topology is that in our computer network. Topology is the design of the computer network. How the switches can be connected, how routers can be connected, okay, how computers can be connected. This is what the computer topology is all about. So we can see star topology, tree topology, mesh or hybrid mesh, mesh or partial mesh. Then we can go with like hybrid. We can go with all these topologies in our setup. It depends on your scenario. In one company, there can be like 3-4 topologies. So how we are connecting the devices with each other, that is what we need to understand in this topology. And like I said, in coming classes, we will see most of the topologies. We will see mesh topology, we'll see like tree topology, bus topology, all these things we will see practically. And I'll share a document where I have written all these things in more details actually. What are the advantages in bus topology? What are the disadvantages? What are the advantages in mesh topology? What are the disadvantages? I have written all these things in more details. So just go through the document. Hopefully things will be more easier for you to understand. Okay. So always remember one thing before you make a topology. We are simply trying to minimize our distance from one machine to another machine. If you try to minimize the distance, then the data movement will be much better. And the second thing is every machine should have at least 2 ways to reach another machine. So if there are 2 ways, it will be more, there is something called fault tolerance. Fault tolerance means if one path is down, the other path will be available. So always try to make a topology with multiple paths. Okay. If one path is down, the other path will be available. So distance should be less and path should be more. Okay, so these are the types of topologies we have, and with this actually we have done with our basics, friends. We are like more than ready to go into the administration part. We are more than ready to learn the IP addressing part, then the routers and the switches and all those things. So in basics, we have seen the computer networks, types of computer networks. We have discussed something about the devices, routers, switches, servers, computers, and all those things. Okay, we have seen the cables and we have seen the topology. So this much is more than enough for us to kickstart our CCNA from tomorrow. So tomorrow it will be the IP addressing class, Internet Protocol class. IP addressing is not the important topic of CCNA. IP addressing is one of the most important topic for you in whole network. So whatever topologies we are designing here, friends, every device has an IP address. See, I showed you some topologies here. See, we can see clearly every device there is a number here. That number is your IP address. Each and every device has at least one IP or multiple IPs. So one simple request here, when you attend the class from tomorrow, you should sit with a book and a pen, because if you want to learn IP addressing in a better way or the best way, we need to have a book and a pen with us. Okay, so without the pen and book, it is very difficult for you to follow what I'll be discussing here. Just come with a pen and book so that things will look more easier for you. And the IP addressing will look something like this. I'll just show you a small demo to you. IP address is all about numbers actually. See, these are the IP addressing things. So if you're not coming with a book and a pen, if you're not sitting with a book and pen, I'll just show you some practicals. I'll show you some calculations. Then I'll ask you to do some calculation, and then we can cross check our answers. So things will be like this. If I just keep on showing you the calculations, it will not be helpful for you in a way. So the way we conduct our classes in coming days will be, I show you like 3, 4, 5 examples, and I'll ask you to do 2 examples. So how can you do 2 examples without a pen and a book? Okay, so just sit in the class with book and pen, and whenever I do some calculation, whenever I show you some kind of calculation, I'll ask you to do some calculation there. You should not get the knowledge of IP address. See, all these are numbers here. See here carefully. It is 0, 1, 2, 3, something, something, some numbers will be there. You should not get the knowledge of IP addressing, friends. You should get perfection in IP addressing. Whenever a company, there is a design in company, the other administrators will look up to the network administrator to get the IP addresses. Okay, if you want to be more successful in this networking career, just try to understand one basic thing. If you are good in IP addressing concept, you will be good in many other concepts in networking, whether it is cloud or security or servers or whatever. Please try to learn IP addressing concept. Please try to learn everything about IP addressing concept. So next, at least 5 classes we are learning about IP addressing only. So please just come to the class with a book and a pen, so that the things will be like more easier for you as well as more easier for me. I can just go a bit more deeper if I'm getting like proper answers from you. Fine. So this was some of the demo sessions, some of the very basic sessions that we need to learn up for to start our CCNA. So I'm done with it. I'll be here for like some more time, couple of minutes. If you have anything, any questions, any suggestions or whatever, feel free to send your questions so that we can have some discussion and we can stop the session. I can see one person here who is attending the class for the first time. Adan is his name, Salih bin Adam. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Okay, fine. We are still in we were still in basics till today, so this was the last basic session for us, and hopefully from tomorrow we'll be starting our main classes. Okay, if you have some time, then just try to do some searching here. I'll just try to write the topics that we have covered. Just try to get some more knowledge. You can just go and search, browse internet. You can just go to Google or YouTube, and you can get some more idea about this topics actually. network devices, types of networks, cables, topologies. Just try to get like as much knowledge as possible. These are the very basic things you should know about a computer network. Okay, so hopefully from tomorrow we are like more than ready to start our IP address. After IP address, like we know, we need to enter into like a router concept. Then we need to enter into the switch concept. These are the three major things we need to learn in CCN: IP address, router, and switch. Okay, friends, so that's it from me for today. So I'll be here for next 30 seconds, 30 more seconds. If there is anything else, we will see. I'll stop the session for today. Okay, fine. So I guess that's it for today. There are no more questions. We'll stop the session here and see you tomorrow at same time, 10 a.m. Indian time with this IP address concept. And please come with a book and a pen. Okay, friends, that's it for today. Thanks for joining. See you tomorrow at same time. Bye.